I am a robot. Beep boop. I think it's still clipping a little bit, but I'm just going to be a bit more quiet, I guess. That's a rather unusual problem for me. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this. Thank you, Brian.
Alright, well just because we seem to be having a wee bit of clipping on the other end, despite the fact that I had done an audio test before this and everything sounded fine on my end. Hello, I'm Sparkover, and I am back. How are we sounding? Am I a robot as well? Sounds alright on my end? Alright. So I'll be starting up shortly. I was just trying to make sure we did not get too far ahead of schedule, but also we do remember what happened maybe last time that I had did a run, and oh, maybe I was a little bit behind schedule. I'll really try not to be here. So the original plan for this, I was going to be playing this on the Super Famicom. Unfortunately, last night, I could not get the cartridge to load at all. I mean, I totally practiced this before last night. I might want to unmute Discord. Hello, I apologize. Helping. Anyway, as I was saying, unfortunately my Super Famicom version will not work. So I will be playing the Super Nintendo version. There are just a few minor differences to the run. It unfortunately does add a little bit of extra time, but we will assume all will be well, because we want to hope for the best. We really do. So I'm just resetting here. I'm going to be going by some marathon safety strats, which is really just adding a few extra lives to the options here. Just in case something goes wrong. I am also going to be donating $5 per death that I may happen to take, which can get a little bit questionable because later on in the game, I might be dying by accident. And I also might be dying on purpose to refill my health, so we shall see. True enough, it's Disney, no lives, just tries. You get that many tries. So let's see. I figure I can probably get started soon. So yeah, just a reminder, I don't know exactly when the cutoff is, but there is the donation incentive for the upcoming run. From the sounds of it, it sounds like it turns it from an any percent into a 100% run, the all phone calls incentive. Currently we're sitting at $10 out of 75, and I'll definitely get my donation into that as soon as I can after we see how many deaths I will take. You know, by accident, on purpose, it's all the same. So yes, I believe I will get started, and hopefully no further audio issues will happen, so starting the timer right as soon as I hit play game. So Mickey is traveling through time to save all the other Mickeys, so we're starting off in a black and white stage with the Steamboat. So there's a skip that I want to pull off right away here. Pretty much we're going to boop this cat on the nose and then jump behind us and sort of overload the game, and I did it. So you might see a small flash there. Essentially, when the game overloads and there's too much going on, it'll bring up a warp screen with the text that will say either forward or backward. I believe. I've never actually really seen the screen itself. So pretty much at that point, I just want to mash B so I can hit forward because that's what appears first. So in this stage here, I need to ring all these bells to make it progress. Behind us there, you saw Pete. So here, I want to push those blocks and throw a marble so I can hopefully get a nice pattern when I get to the other side. So here we need to defeat the first boss, which is just as simple as throwing a few marbles and, you know, take a jump on him so we can get further. So let's see, I see the boxes just behind me here. I think that's all right for that, but unfortunately this box is coming back. If we have good timing, we can get through there right away, but there is no way for me to go through there quickly. So here's the first boss. It's just a bunch of cogs that we want to destroy. Unfortunately, my timing on it is a little bit not so great, so we'll try not to take too many jumps. So for the first ones, you can jump up on the first one on the bottom, and then they give you some springboards for the rest of it. We're gonna have to wait for those boxes to come back. And we did it. First one. It's true, there's no dying IRL, there's just tries in video games. So, into the spooky section now. I'm just going to try and avoid getting hit there. Thankfully, I don't fall into the pit. So that rocket ship there is like a saving point. If you die without one of those going on, you will have to start at the beginning of the stage again, and as well, the more annoying part, you will have to have this loading screen pop up. But if you happen to take a death when you have a rocket there, you will just respawn right away. So I'm going to possibly be using those strategically a little bit early on, and later on. So safety strats here, I'm going to obviously take a hit while regaining 2 of my hit points. So in the Super Famicom version of this stage, there are actually some zips that you can perform with the swinging ropes, and that will let you just skip the rest of the stage. You'll go over to the end of it, but in the Super Nintendo version, there is none of that. I'll be performing the second skip here. Hopefully I'll get it correct. Oops! There is one death. By the way, I might need my lovely host to help me count my deaths, perhaps, just to take advantage of that, because I might forget. So take 2, and I got the skip. So you want to throw a marble at that point, and then, again, it'll just overload the game, and you will be warping. So this section I just pretty much want to go fast through. I will generally be taking hits for sure, but it's pretty safe overall.
Do I have a quick moment?
Go ahead.
Excellent. So we did receive a $20 donation by Anonymous, and that goes towards $5 for the Ultima 6, named the Avatar with a W. And then $15 of that goes towards Ultima 7, which just basically writes star, 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 Lord British. I guess someone doesn't like Lord British. That's that, thank you very much.
I like the part where you came in during the auto-scroller, actually. The very best time to read anything. So yeah, this is just a simple auto-scroller. You travel up, you want to kill the skeletons early on, so it takes a little bit less time, but essentially you can't do much else to make the elevator go faster. So here is the boss stage of I believe this is called the Mad Scientist's place. I get a very nice rocket ship there, and here we get to do some science. So remember when you learned your color wheel? Forget it, because we're going to be mixing some colors that don't quite make sense. So together, we mix some green and red. It makes yellow, right? That's proper. Then over here with the yellow, we will add some blue to make purple. Congratulations, you've completed science. And now we're going to heat up those colors so we can explode that lock down there. Now we're standing a safe distance away, kids, but we haven't put on our safety goggles. This is kind of a bit of a bad representation to the children of these days. So we'll be fighting the scientist here. There's a chance I might die because I'm coming with my life being a little bit low, but there are some stars to regenerate my health here too. So it just depends on how the things he throws goes. That's 3 hits. I believe I need 8. There's one more star over here I can take, which will take a bit of time, but might let me survive. Sometimes I take a strategic death there, just because if I can respawn there right away, but in the next stage, the Moose Hunter stage, if I happen to take some hits, unfortunately, and die, you don't get the rocket ship until really late in that level. So welcome to Canada. It's Mickey and the Moose. In the Super Famicom version of this, those tree branches you see at the top of the screen, they actually, you can see them on the screen. Whereas here, you kind of have to just guess and get a feel for where they are. So I'm just going to do a lot of shimmying around here. I'm totally not going to skip that rock, so we'll just be patient. So yeah, in this stage there are rocks falling from the sky, and in the previous stage we rescued Pluto, and Pluto will now alert us when there is a moose around. We're just about at the end here. I think there's one more rock, so we'll have to probably wait again just to play it safe again. And that's the end of this stage. So the boss of this stage actually is the moose that we previously saw. So you're just running. This was actually, as a child, my favorite stage. Even though it essentially is an auto-scroller, and now I'm older and know better. So you just run through this. You want to collect apples, because they help you with your speed, and oh, you know what doesn't help with your speed? Tripping over rocks. That's totally just for the demonstration, right? So yeah, we'll just continue to run, collect some rocks, and that'll be this stage.
I mean, you need to make the marbles out of something, so you need to pick up rocks, right?
I suppose so. And that was the moose stage. We have left Canada. So coming up here is one of the harder stages. All the levels, they don't necessarily go in order of difficulty. The world after this one, I think, is actually about the easiest one. So let's have to make a big bear jump here, and we did. In that section there, I get to refill my health, so it's pretty nice. So yeah, this is a trickier stage. I normally run into a few problems here, but there is some safety health here and there that I can pick up. So I'll just avoid getting hit a few times. So there are these staircases, and when you land on them, they slide you down. There is a trick you can do on, I believe, some of them, maybe not all of them, to go up to the top, and then you will not have to slide down. You still have to wait, but the lack of slide will save you a bit of time. So this is about my least favorite jump in the game. There, finally got up there. Something about that's just a bit of a bugger to me. This is the Super Nintendo version of this game. It was to be the Super Famicom version, but my cartridge said no, so none of that. So I usually just take one hit there and then replenish my health there if I'm playing it safe. There are some bats on my tail right here, but if I go fast enough, it's no problem there.
So if I may ask real quick,
Yes.
how do I see how much health do you have?
My health is in the top, my hand in the top left corner. It's the number below is the number of tries that I have, not lives, tries, and the fingers are how many hits I have. So currently I've got 4 hits, and the fingers will count down otherwise.
So you lose fingers whenever you get hit. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's kind of violent. How have I never thought about that before?
Yeah.
And then, yes, just in the other corner are my marbles. If I die, I might lose some of them, so I'm really trying not to lose too many.
Yeah, don't lose your marble.
So in this portion here, you have to push a table over to a staircase to get up to it. The fast strat is to just push the table and don't stop for anything. It always worries me when I get to this point, but if I'm speedy, I can get up there without any troubles. I do like to have more life for this final part, but actually if you want to go fast, you don't stop and collect that other star. But I will play it safe. I do have one more hit that I can take. And there it goes. So now we play it very safe. Just want to get to the next section. And because we are up here, I will just collect that star and go through the door. And we have saved the Ghost Hunter Mickey. So now we're heading into one of the easiest stages, the Beanstalk.
If I have a moment.
You do.
Excellent. So we got a pretty large donation just now by Mega Mac Attack for $150. That's kind of crazy. Thank you so much. And the donation comment reads, "Don't die, Sparko, and good luck Squib soon. $50 each to Avatar for the Ultima name, the Avatar incentives." Yeah, thank you so much. That is very generous of you.
Thank you, Meg. I will do my best to not die, but it's for a good cause, I promise. So I think I might get hit by the dragonfly here. Yeah, unfortunately. My timing on that was just not very good. But we did get the rocket ship, so at least we get to respawn at the beginning of this. That's one mechanic of the rocket ship that definitely comes into play later on. If you get the rocket ship, you respawn at the last part where your feet touched the ground. That's very relevant in a later stage. So let's see, if I'm counting, I believe that was my second death now. The loss of try animation, I like it. So in this stage you've got like little, I don't know what they are, monkey babies falling from beehives? I really never did figure out what they were. I'm sure they're probably relevant if you've seen the cartoons. So yeah, all of these stages are based off of Mickey Mouse cartoons, but most of them were before my time. So I hadn't seen too many of them. So anyway, over there we wanted to hit a button that opens up this here, and behind us here is a big scary spider. If it touches us, we fail to try. So we have to ride this ladybug to the end.
That ladybug is on fire.
It just knows a proper speedrun. It knows it has to go fast. So this is just about the end of the Beanstalk level. This is just a short little section here. Essentially, you find the Beanstalk, and you climb up it, and you go into the question mark boss stage. So most of the other stages actually have some sort of boss to play against. This one just has a hold left, or rather hold right, and run stage. I mean, there are definitely a few things you have to watch out for, but nothing way too dangerous. Nothing boss-like. Is this Gelatin the boss? I also loved that as a child. It just made a fun sound. So yeah, you really are just running through this stage, and there is the Mickey that we save. Yeah, Mickey is taking a leisurely stroll. Does he know what's at stake here? And yeah, the animation of this is very high quality, and it does play very smooth. It's a very good game, I think. So in this stage, we have to push that box over to around where the armor is sitting. It's not gonna make it? No. So you have to use the fun theory of momentum here to jump over to the next one, and unfortunately I took a fall there. And I took a fall there. What are you doing, Sparko? Just trying to keep estimate. Totally. So we're just going to go the safe way and do a few more of these. If I'm a little better, I can do it in just 3 little runs on them. There we go. I think that one wasn't too good though, so I'm just going to go the full length there and still fall. Dear me. So we're making a few mistakes, but you know, we haven't taken a hit yet, and that's the important part. So this is a very long section of the game. It is, of course, the final castle, so without surprise. Okay. We're just going to be super safe about this and make sure we make it. So there's a light switch here that I have to turn on, and it's kind of finicky sometimes. There we go. So it lights up the room here, and you're able to progress. So the knife-throwing guys have a really good hitbox to get through. The arrow ones, not so much, but because we got that rocket ship earlier on, we're just kind of going to try and power through this as best we can. I'm going to try and get that star. Nice, but I wasn't going to try and shimmy around too much for it. Oops, so I took a hit by accident there. This bottom section here isn't too bad, but I do need to watch out for this one, who is going to throw a knife at me around the time I get here. But so we saved the Pauper Mickey, and now we have to find the prince. So this section, I have mixed feelings on. If I'm full on health, I get very brave in it, but I'm just kind of at middle health right now, so it's like, I'm just going to play it safe and still take a hit while defeating the enemies, unfortunately. That's okay, though. And I took another hit, so now the goal is just don't die. It does make me worry a little bit for the next section. I might have to redo it, but we shall see. I'm pretty stocked up on lives. So here is duck jump. We want to use the momentum of the duck to jump really high and get up to that cliff, and we didn't make it. And unfortunately, because the water is painful, we will take another death. I mean, we will take another try. We cannot use that word here. It's a Disney game. So I believe that's death number 3, I want to say.
Try.
Sorry, try number 3. Sparko is not appropriate for Disney games. Kind of messed up my timing there. I meant to throw the marble at the sword one so I can not get hit, but I took one there. So you can jump a little early there, but I am just going to admit that I'm a little bit rusty right now. And because we don't get a rocket ship laid on, it really would take a lot more time to take another try by accident. But there, now that we've got our rocket ship, we are just going to go zoom. This is the part before where I talked about how your feet have to be on the ground to respawn. Sometimes you can play this part of the level just by jumping on the platforms on top of the lava and the enemies. If I do that, you'll actually go back a really far amount. So there, I was very careful to put my feet on the ground before something hit me. We're sitting rather pretty right now, I think. I'm in good shape. I'm slightly rusty, but I believe in myself. We have enough tries to get through this. So there's a platform that I have to activate by pushing a rock on it, and then we'll just take this elevator up, and oh no, there are spikes, so we actually have to get out of the way, do a little shimmy, and we've found the prince. So we're heading into the last portion of the game, which unfortunately is mostly a big auto-scroller. There's a few things you can do to speed it up, including a warp. But yeah, a lot of it's just mostly auto-scrollers. So in this stage here, probably my second favorite stage as a kid. Oh no, there's fire. There are going to be some barrels coming down towards you, and the strategy is you just take enough damage to survive, but you can run through them. But there is a warp to be done in the next section, and just because I need to be able to take a hit to do it, I'd rather not take any damage here for marathon safety. Because I have a few extra lives, if I don't get it the first time, I might consider trying it a second time just for fun to show it off, and also maybe because the warpless portion of it is actually very difficult. Oops, took a hit anyway. I may have more of a chance of surviving, dying again, and doing it warpless than playing through the level, but we'll see what happens when the time comes. Unfortunately, the final skip is usually the hardest one for me to get. So the enemies in here are special. They only take one hit to be defeated. So it makes it easier for... this would be pretty difficult if they actually had their full health here. So now I just need to remember which is the section where it happens, and it's here, so I just have to wait for them. And I got it. Very good. So now we're going to the final boss of the game, Pete, who is essentially an auto-scroller. All you have to do is be sure to actually hit him in time. So he's going to throw his sword at me. I'm going to evade it very, very carefully, and then he's going to jump. And oh, some stars fall from the sky, and what's this? I wonder if he's going to keep jumping around. Well, wow. So yeah, we just have to do this, I believe, 5 times, and then I believe... Oops, no, I'm not on the wrong side, never mind. In this portion, it doesn't really matter where you go as long as you're close enough to push the spikes. In the second section, you actually do need to be going left and right because, well, we'll see when we get there. There is also some additional health on the other side of the screen. I'm not too worried about this portion of the fight. Plus, I can sit there and you can watch his idle animation. Mickey checks the time. So yeah, I believe one more hit and then I'll go over to the other side of the screen. And so now there's a ball and chain coming from below, and we have to jump up on the sword and hit that switch. It can be a little bit of a tight timing window, but... And if you don't hit it, unfortunately, you have to wait an extra cycle to be able to hit it again. So that's pretty much where you really don't want to make that mistake. So the stars falling from the sky are a little bit more difficult right now, but you can learn the patterns pretty easily. And I do, again, have one more star that will replenish one hit if needed. Oops, and I did take a hit there, but that's okay. I'll go back to the other side after, because again, you don't want to miss your cycles here. Alright, there was one more to do. So just, hopping around a little bit, keeping the theme of the last game going. Anyway, that was time. That's not me hitting my correct button. There's my button. Well done, Mickey. Mighty Pete has been defeated and Mickey can start on his next animated cartoon. Watch for it coming soon. And that was Mickey Mania.
GG. That was really nice.
Why, thank you. I suppose I could hit the button to progress so we can have a little bit of music going on here. Thank you very much for the GGs, everybody. This is a really fun game to play, and I am glad that I was able to show it off for everybody. So if I'm right, my final death count was 3? 4. Three or 4. I'm going to go with the higher number.
I don't know.
All right. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. I am the restreamer for the next run, so I'm just going to have to take a moment to see what's going on with that. So I'm just going to mute myself for now and enjoy the music for now.
I like music. I could also plug some stuff. So, indeed. Oh, I see. Fair enough. And people have no idea what I see. That's alright. Alrighty. So, welcome back, everybody. We are going to be having our next run up very soon, which is going to be Lit. That's literally the name. We'll need to see whether we can get that going and up and running. So, in the meantime, let me actually tell you guys that there are prizes. I promised you to talk about prizes earlier, and well, now I finally get to it. So there's the Marathon Grand Prize that you can win, and if you donate a total of $50 over the course of the marathon, that is cumulative, you can actually win a SNES Classic that was donated by Casual Geek Dave, so thank you very much for that. And well, if you just donate a total of $50 over the course of the marathon, you will be entered into that drawing. There is also some other prizes to be acquired. Let me just see whether those have... I'm not entirely sure whether they are available over the course of the entirety of the marathon, but there is various other marathon prizes, such as a Sates D-Power gaming headset donated by Scala Kitty for a total donation of $30. There is an SNES Poodle skirt by Margaret Ann for, well, a total of $25 donation. PS4 controller clutch. I'm actually not sure what that is, but I am sure that should be quite useful. SNES controller clutch. Then there's also Take This Hope Shield. I'll actually need to take a look at what that exactly is. But there's plenty of prizes to be gotten if you manage to donate during our marathon here. So, to just give you a brief update, it looks like currently, I'm not sure whether that donation incentive is going to be cut off at the beginning of the run, but we are only $10 out of 75 for all phone calls for the next game. But there's also more incentives right after for Ultima 6, the False Prophet, where currently you can just name the characters. For Ultima 6, for Ultima 7, and for Ultima 8, each one of those has the main character named to be Avatar with a W. I know this is a thing in the Ultima community. I actually have no idea where that originates from, but there appears to be also no other names. So if you'd like to just kind of knock that name off the top of the list, you would have to donate at least $55.01. But hey, who knows? Maybe you like the Avatar and want to solidify his lead. Then also, for Ultima 7 coming up, there is also the incentive for Lord British, which is currently at 30 out of $150. So if you'd like to see them kill Lord British, then that will require a little bit more, but it's already a nice part of it there. So we are just kind of chilling, relaxing, leaning back, and I hope there's music. There's music. Enjoy the music for now. Also, we will receive a $20 donation from Sparkover for, well, the next donation incentive. So thank you very much for that already in advance, Sparkover. I will be noting that one.
So, unfortunately, I have no sign of our next runner showing up, so I might just need to give you some additional Sparko content for fun. Yay!
I mean, more Sparkover always sounds like a good idea.